So today, we're going to dive into something called OurRoots.Africa. And what's interesting is they're not trying to be just another company in the heritage travel space. They're actually creating something totally new, a whole new category really, to solve a problem that has been deeply personal and honestly pretty frustrating for so many in the African diaspora. Let's get into how they're trying to completely change the conversation around what it means to go home. Okay, so picture this. You're thinking about a heritage journey back to Africa. It's this huge, emotional goal, right? But the immediate question is, where on earth do you even start? For so many people, this is the exact moment the journey gets really complicated before it's even begun. You might start with a DNA test, which seems like a great first step. You're hoping for some real clarity. But what often happens is the results just open up a dozen more questions. It's kind of like being handed a puzzle, but with half the pieces missing. Sure, you get a general region, but that deep human connection, the actual cultural context, that feels just as far away as ever.
So naturally, the next stop is the internet. But what you find is just, well, it's a chaotic sea of information. You're drowning in blogs, conflicting advice on forums, and a million different articles. It is completely overwhelming, and frankly, it's just frustrating. You start to wonder who you can actually trust or where to find any kind of reliable guidance. Then you start looking at the travel packages out there, and they just feel superficial. They're all about logistics, booking flights, hotels, tours. It's all very transactional, but you're looking for something transformational. They completely miss the deep emotional and psychological needs that come with a journey this profound.
It was looking at this completely broken landscape that led the founders of OurRoots.Africa to a huge turning point. They realized that trying to just patch up the old existing systems was never going to work. They had to ask a totally different kind of question.
And this, right here, this is the question that changed everything. It's such a powerful shift in thinking. Instead of trying to compete in a broken system, they chose to create a new one. Instead of just joining the old conversation about heritage travel, they decided to start a brand new one.
So, what does the answer to a question like that even look like?
Well, it became a core philosophy that basically flips the entire traditional model on its head. It became their new guiding principle for the entire homecoming journey. And they ground this whole philosophy in the really powerful cultural concept of Sankofa. It's this idea of reaching back, reclaiming your past, and truly understanding your history so you can build a better future. It's the perfect anchor for their entire mission.
And this phrase just says it all. Emotions first, logistics second. They believe the most critical part of preparing for a homecoming isn't booking the flight or the hotel room. No, it's preparing your heart and your mind for the experience. It's all about guiding you through the emotional landscape of your return so you can actually arrive with a sense of belonging, not a sense of anxiety.
Okay, so let's look at how this philosophy gets built into a real-world business model. To make their innovation really clear, they use this metaphor of a blue ocean versus a red ocean, which is all about creating a new, uncontested market space instead of just fighting it out in a crowded, bloody, competitive one.
This slide just lays it out so clearly. The old way, the red ocean, it's fragmented, it's expensive. You're out there hiring a separate genealogist, a cultural coach, maybe even a therapist. But the new way, the blue ocean, is an integrated ecosystem all on one platform. The old way is transactional, the new way is totally transformational, getting you ready from the inside out. And it replaces that information overload with guided, intelligent support. And to make their new model even sharper, they're really, really clear about what they are not. They're not another Expedia that just sells you flights. They're not an Etsy selling crafts. And they're not a tour operator running the actual tours. This distinction is absolutely key to understanding where they fit, or rather, where they don't fit in the market.
So, if they aren't any of those things, then what are they? Well, OurRoots.Africa defines itself as the first ever diaspora heritage platform. They've basically created an entirely new category, a space that, as they see it, no one else is occupying. Okay, this all sounds really innovative, but let's get practical. How does this platform actually work for someone who's planning their trip? What's the real tangible value for you, the user?
This slide shows how they replace the chaos with a clear, structured process. It's a 6-stage guided journey. It all starts with identity clarification, and we're talking way deeper than a basic DNA test. Then you move into cultural education, learning about the specific ethnic groups you're connected to, maybe their languages or customs. Stage 3, emotional preparation, is so crucial, giving you resources to process the really complex feelings that come with return. It's only after all that groundwork that you move to connection, then logistics, and finally integration, which helps you make sense of the trip once you're back home. It's a full end-to-end support system.
And a core part of this guided journey is their AI tool, which gives you personalized, trauma-informed answers 24/7. So what that means is, when you have those really specific, sensitive questions, like about visiting historical slave trade sites, you have an intelligent, supportive resource right there to help remove the guesswork and the anxiety. So what about the cost? I mean, this is a huge deal. The value proposition here is crystal clear. The old way of hiring all those individual consultants can easily run you thousands of dollars. But the OurRoots.Africa way uses a freemium model. You can get started for free and then access premium features and a whole marketplace of vetted partners for just a fraction of the cost. It makes this kind of deep preparation way more accessible.
All right, so let's zoom out for a second, away from the specific features. The platform is being positioned as something much, much bigger than just a tool or a service. It's really being framed as a vision for the entire future of homecoming.
And this is the ultimate goal, their North Star: to pioneer a future where every single member of the African diaspora can experience their homecoming journey, not with fear or uncertainty, but with genuine confidence and deep joy. They're positioning this as more than a business, it's a movement.
So, we're left with this one final provocative question. And it's a direct call to action, really, asking if you're ready to rethink this entire process.